Hi everyone, I'm going to take you through the process for sharing your curation projects and completing your peer evaluation. So what I have done is I have matched everyone in class up with a partner, and each of you will be assigned 2 curation projects that a classmate has completed, and those assignments are shown below in this document. You are going to watch or read the overview videos or information from Khan Academy, which are also linked below, to familiarize yourselves with the time periods that these creators of the curation project were focusing on. Then you're going to view both curation projects, looking at each resource included. And then you're going to discuss in your partners or pairs these 4 key aspects that were the requirements for this assignment. The credibility and value of the sources chosen, that there is evidence that draws from various sources in response to the compelling question, that the creator used evidence to develop claims and arguments in response to the compelling question, and that there were some different instructional approaches that could be taken, either students working alone or together, to address that enduring issue and predict possible results. After you guys do that together, you are going to select one curation project each that you reviewed, so each partner should select a different one, and then you're going to fill out this peer evaluation survey linked and provide some feedback to the creator. So I'm going to take you through this process with a sample just to kind of show you what to do. So we're going to pretend that my daughter Molly and I are in pairs together today, and we are going to read or watch the Khan Academy information linked. So if you go down to the links, here are the pairs. For the example, I just put Molly here. We'll just pretend Molly and I are both in a group together, and we're going to look at the curation project that I made on immigration. So the first link you'll see is the topic. So the topic was immigration. I can click on it and go be linked to the Khan Academy information. This is the same information that was linked in the sign-up sheet when you originally picked a curation project to focus on. Sometimes you will get an actual video like the ones we've been viewing in class, and sometimes you will just get an overview. So this is Irish and German immigration. There is an overview and some key information. Obviously, you don't have to read this word for word. Most of the time, they're not very long. Some of the Khan Academy videos, as you've noticed, are a little bit longer. So here's an example of the market revolution. This one is 11 minutes long. So again, you could kind of view it, or you could go down and kind of look at the transcript of what it was talking about. But the purpose of having you do this, number one, is just so that you understand what is happening in the U.S. during the time that the creator selected. For some of us, when we look through some of the topics, the market revolution might not be something we remember, or we might not remember the specifics about Irish and German immigration. So this is just meant to give you a little review. Plus, again, this is the Khan Academy resources are provided by Praxis to give you a good overview and preparation for the test. So anytime you're viewing any of the documents on here, they're going to give you some good background information. Also remember, we did not go through every single aspect of U.S. history, so reviewing some of this is good. So if Molly and I were reviewing Lisa's immigration curation project, we would want to start with what was the sources, what is the Khan Academy video or written information. Then, after we got a chance to do that, we would go on to the second step, step B, where we would actually review the curation project. So Molly and her partner, in this case would be me, will go and review the curation project. This should look familiar to you. This was my example. So we would look through it. We would look at the compelling question. We would actually go and look at each source.
In the back room, our brother and I slept on a folding bed.
So some of it might be videos, some of it might be audio. There might be a website, a variety of different resources that are chosen. So you would look through each one, And then at the bottom is hopefully that kind of assignment or instructional activity that would cause the students to actually have to deal with that compelling question and come up with some sort of response. So Molly and I will go through that and look at each piece. Then we'll talk about it. What did you think about this curation project? What did I think about this curation project? And we would look at these 4 areas in particular. Did the sources Lisa picked, did they have credibility and value? Did it draw from various resources? Were they all related to that compelling question? Those types of things. We would talk through it. Now again, talking through this with sensitivity, obviously you are looking at a classmate's materials, and we want to have sensitivity to what has been created. But I'm asking you to do this because as a teacher, you're going to be curating information and you're going to be going through the process of selecting sources and trying to determine which sources are the best to use with students. So this is a good process for all of us to go through. We just want to make sure we do it with sensitivity. After you and your partner have discussed, then each of you will choose one curation project to evaluate. Each person only needs to evaluate one. Obviously, there wasn't a second project here. If another project was here, maybe Molly would choose to evaluate Lisa's. I would choose to evaluate someone else's. And you would click on this evaluation link. So when you click on this link, it'll bring you to a Google form. And you will fill it out with your name. So if Molly was the evaluator, I would fill out her name. Lisa was the creator. And then the next one is just the topic. Well, her topic was all about immigration. I would click next, and then there is evaluation criteria on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being weak and 5 being strong. And using your best judgment, look through these criteria and try to determine where would you rate the work that student did. So includes a compelling question. Does it focus on enduring issues and concerns? You know, maybe I would give it a 3 or a 4 or a 2. And there's some descriptors on either side to kind of help you. You're going to look at the sources, and I have to just mark something in order to go to the next page because these are all required. So I'm just going to give these 3s for right now. But obviously, it would be preferred if you would actually look at each particular criteria and try to maybe not base it right in the middle, but is it more weak or is it more strong? And then you'll click next, and this is the last part. This is feedback. This section will be shared with the creator. None of this will be shared with the creator. They won't know what scores you give them. This is more for your benefit to get used to evaluating sources. This won't be shared with them. I will be grading them on that criteria and will be sharing my evaluation with them. But the feedback section is where you can give that student some feedback on what they created. And I encourage you to include some positive feedback. What did they do well? What did you enjoy? What type of resources did they use? Was there something creative? And then also some constructive feedback. And constructive feedback is not meant to always be seen as negative. So it could be maybe a few questions that you would ask in response to what you saw. Maybe it's some things to encourage them to dig deeper in the future. If they were doing this again with students, maybe it's asking them if they have evaluated multiple viewpoints or whatever. Maybe you actually are aware of another source, or maybe you thought, you know, this source is great, but it might be a little difficult for 4th graders or 5th graders. Have you considered such and such? And give them a little bit of feedback and then go ahead and submit. Again, this will be shared with the student just as some helpful tips as we go forward. We know that we all can improve. It's nice to have some of that specific feedback. And then, of course, I will review each curation project and give the evaluation scores and feedback in addition to what the students have done. So you will be able to go down here and see all of the links. That is your process to go through for this project sharing and evaluation tool.